Cool.
We are recording. Great. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the experience.
Social media what? And Ed froze.
We're social media what? I've been thinking about the experiential Ed Blab, and my computer is now frozen here. So that is absolutely awesome. Whoa, I got somebody behind me.
Random person showing up. Who's behind
that would be my mother-in-law in the shot that on top of everything else. So all right. So anyways, moving on here. So we'll go ahead and give this a try one more time. And I'm frozen, so I'm going to stop the recording because that seemed to kill it. And we will try one more time in a second. And again, hello everybody. Welcome to Social Media What? This episode is episode 6 if we're keeping count at home, which I am. And today we are the name of the title of today's blab is Okay Facebook You Win. Exploring Facebook ads. So that's what we're here to talk about.
You win Facebook, not okay Facebook you win.
There's only so many characters I can put in there. So the attitude behind
those are two opposite sounding themes. Okay Facebook you win or you win Facebook.
No, okay Facebook you win. So that's weird. I got somebody behind me. I'm not used to that. I'm going to move over just a little bit here. All right. So anyways, that is my mother-in-law. That is Dr. Cafaro behind me. So I know that she can't hear you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear her with the new microphone or not. So anyways, so what today's topic is I had somebody in our Facebook group ask about, could we talk about Facebook ads? So we're going to do that. I welcome other people's comments and thoughts on it. As I mentioned on our group, Facebook ads is not, this is why I call it Okay Facebook You Win, is for the 3 years I've been on Facebook, I have gone out of my way to do everything organically and do everything right to get the right people to the pages I manage for the business I work with, for business I contract with, for ACCT volunteering. Well, actually, that's all you, Mandy. I don't do too much on Facebook there, but
we collaborate.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've seen some really great things done organically. So one of the things that I've discovered as I've been researching the topic for today, and I've heard people talk about this, is that Facebook ads can really take advertising to the next level. Because if we take a step back and think about it, and again, I just tweeted out to everybody that today's session is not Facebook Ads 101. It's more like 08 or 050, like the remedial college class. Because again, I know that some of the people that watch this blab are still trying to figure out how to set up a business page. But this is some good stuff that I think that you should know as you're building your audience, of some things that you can do with that audience once you build it. So the number one thing that's brought me on board with Facebook ads is the targeting aspect of it, is that you can really hone in on, as some people are calling it, your client avatar. And we'll explore some of those things where you can get in there and say, I want, nurses within 10 miles of this zip code that have this income to see the ad that I'm putting out there.
That are over 40 years of age.
And yes, and make this much money. And from a marketer's point of view, that is a dream come true. If you think about it, just 10 years ago, 5 years ago, when I wanted to do any kind of marketing for a business, I was buying a list and I was sending it to every house in that zip code. And now we can, thanks to Facebook, we can go in and specifically say, this is the person I'm looking for. And on top of it, Facebook has done a really nice job of saying, what is it that you want to promote? So that's, I think, where we're going to start. And I already lost him. Oh, well. But again, I want to be upfront that this is where we're going with everything, so that before you invest about a half hour of your time here, that this is where we're going with this. Hey, Matt, I'm always assuming it's Matt.
I know. I'm always like, oh, Matt's here. And I just cracked up because I was thinking in that whole spiel you're just giving, I had this whole, these are not the droids you're looking for moment. As far as like the broadcast out to the grand list that we used to compile. And it's just like, So it was so bad because it's so much time and effort spent, which, you know, when you're doing that, you're going to get that percentage, and that was an expected return back in the day. But just to be able to whittle down the demographics how we can, it's awesome. Matt, you want to jump in?
Yeah, we're talking about Facebook ads. I already admitted that this is a new topic for me, so any expertise is always welcomed. So,
or just another voice, a friendly face.
Just saying hi. Yep, and you can say hi from there too. Hello, hey Matt. All right, so again, I apologize. I was really hoping to be able to do some type of screen share here so you could see what I'm doing, but I think I can walk people through it here. And again, if you have any questions at all about this, I'm going to put my, oops, that's not my email address, ed@experientialed.com.
And the other thing, don't forget that if you have screenshots that you can take while you're doing that, you can always drop those in too. If there's anything there that you're talking about that it would be helpful to have a screenshot for.
Okay. Yeah. So the first thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to try a screenshot with this, is I'm just going to open up Facebook on my web browser. Mm-hmm. And on the right side, next to, there's got my name, home, find friends, all the little icons, and there's a pull down. Underneath the pull down, I'm going to go to create ad, and I'm going to do a print screen of that. And if nothing else, here's what I'll do is I'll put on the website these as like a slide, because I can't put it out. Let me try and do a paste here and see if it just shows up. Yeah, nothing shows up. I'll put all these, they're all being saved to my Dropbox in order. So I'll put them on my website underneath this blab on that same post. So if you go to experientialed.com/blog, you'll see this blab, and then I'll have all this stuff in there. Okay. So I just went to create ads. And then I'm going to see it's going to run through a program here of loading ad account, confirming previous sessions, finishing and getting everything ready. And it took just about that long. It's stuck at 98%. It's just running. And what it's going to do is take me to the main ads page. All right. No echo on your side, right?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. All right. So the first thing it's going to yell at me is I have ad blocker on. So I'm going to turn my ad blocker off, so that I can just, okay, don't pause ad blocker. Okay, so Blab will get through all their ads. All right, and this is going to bring me to, I'm going to refresh this page here so I can get a clean, and it's basically now is going to ask me what type of campaign do I want to do. So this is the first thing that I'm going to have to think about, because the last time I tried to do ads, it wasn't all of these wonderful options. It was basically, hey, you have an event going on. Would you like to promote this event? Hey, this post is doing great, better than average. And it still does those things. But that's when you're interacting on your regular page, you're going to see those pop-ups come up. Where we're going is basically facebook.com/ad/manager/creation/creation. Again, just go to the drop-down arrow and grab it. All right, print screen on there. So my options are boost a post, promote your page, send people to your website, which that's really intriguing me, increase conversions on your website, get installs of your app, increase engagement in your app, reach people near your business, raise attendance at your event, get people to claim your offer, get video views, or collect leads for your business. So looking at that, this is two things I'm looking at right off the bat. I'm going to throw out anything about an app, because I believe most of our audience in the Zipline Canopy Tour Challenge Course industry don't have an app they're trying to promote through Facebook. So we're not going to talk about those. Not yet, but you never know. Anyways, and also there's some other things here. Like I was playing, what I really liked the idea of was sending people to my website. Yeah. Now, that is what I'm going to encourage people to do, but there is a geeky technical side to that. One of the things it's going to do is create what's called a pixel that is you're going to need to load to your website so that Facebook knows who goes to your website from Facebook, who goes to your website and then logs into Facebook, and all of those big brother type things that some of us don't realize that Facebook does, which from a marketing side is awesome.
At something on Amazon and then Facebook account, that Facebook is watching.
It's taken me 3 months to get rid of the IP thermostat ads, because I looked at one for 5 minutes on Home Depot's site like 3 months ago, and that's all I've been getting.
But you can choose that. You can say, like, look, I have this. Like, go away. You know, there's somewhere within Facebook options you can, if you take the time to do it instead of just being annoyed that this ad is popping up, which is like the converse of what we're talking about too, you know, is there are ways for people to make these ads go away if they don't feel that it fits them too.
And this goes back to what I preach constantly on this blab, is that understand how users interact with the platform first.
Yeah.
So for example, I'm here as a user saying, I am annoyed at Home Depot by this. Again, I could probably go in and turn it off, but the average person doesn't do that. I don't think. I mean, I think they look at it and they're too afraid to click on anything for fear that they're going to get even more ads. Yes, I know, but we're not necessarily the average users online.
And I don't get annoyed at Home Depot. I recognize that it's Facebook. And that's the other thing too. But I also will unsubscribe from emails as I receive emails that I don't want to. So it's one of those things where
you can unsubscribe from emails after you register for them.
Who knew?
Okay.
All right. Phone. But no, so that's a really cool part of these ads too, is, you know, that if somebody really doesn't want to be seeing your stuff, they can get rid of it. And you also know that Facebook is enough of just like this beautiful data mining monstrosity that they're going to use that information somehow to make the ad process better later. So that's pretty intriguing.
Yeah, and I think that's also what's drawn me over to it is wanting to see how all this stuff. What was that?
My
you?
Computer announced the time to me, and every time I was on a call or something with anyone, they're like, I was on one call, and the time was announced, and it was a particularly sensitive call, and everything stopped immediately, and everyone freaked out. Who else is on this call? I was like, no, it's my computer. I promise.
It's Hal. That sounded very Hallish.
Yeah,
I can't let you tell the time, Ed. All right. So I'm over on the campaign. So the first thing is, what do you think about promoting your page? So, because I think this is also two birds with one stone, because one of the things that I was very against up to a year ago was promoting my Facebook page because I want specific people to like it. Mm-hmm. And now if I look at what the ads do, I can actually promote my page to the people I want to like it. Right? Not this general, hey, I'm paying Facebook, please give me lots of likes, which, you know, was more of the thing like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So let's
we don't like, by the way, in case you're wondering about that.
We don't like that.
No, we don't like that. That's not good. Most people don't, I don't think.
So there's another
the targeting. I mean, I know as a, you know, the opposite, you know, the mirror view of that, when I get suggested posts and when I get things like, hey, so-and-so also likes this page, you know what? It's pretty intuitive. It's not right every time by any means, but it's something where it's right often enough to where I'll stop and I'll take a little bit of look too. So just in reflecting, okay, is this really valuable, or could this have value for me to do something like this? I can say as a recipient of these types of promotions, yeah, I think they do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. All right. So I've done another screen capture, and basically what it's asking right now is it's pulled up a list of all the pages I manage, and it's saying, which one of these do you want to do? Do we want to promote? So I'm going to choose from this list my Tweak It page, which is the page I created off the book I wrote.
All right. I'm on that page. How am I not on that page? I have the book.
Well, here's the deal, but this may get me, hey, welcome, Durham Skywriter, welcome. We're just going through Facebook kind of step by step. I've just started, and again, I'm sorry I can't do the visuals. I will post them on my webpage of what we're doing, but you're welcome to follow along. Depending on what your experience with Facebook ads is. We've just started at the beginning. I've gone to the pull down on my profile, said create ad, and gone to promote your page, walking through how somebody can promote their business page on Facebook. So I've chosen my page. The reason, Mandy, I was going to say that you might not have it is since I know how EdgeRank works, and I haven't done anything with that page until I have a full plan behind it. I'm trying to do nothing with that page so that I can hit it full force. So this could very
I have
well be
pages
a way.
like that for sure. I totally get that. It's just,
And what I've learned at this point is I set up a new page, but I don't go public with it so that I can set it up ahead of time.
Absolutely.
So anyways, so it asked me to name the campaign, and it gave it a custom name of the name of my page, Tweak It -page likes. So it's going to be very easy when I come back in. So the next thing I have to do is click set an audience and budget. And so audience is where we're going to get into the fun stuff we were just talking about of how to really get into what we're doing. Now, for let's say this page was a zipline canopy tour adventure park challenge course that I operated, or any brick and mortar or physical location. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So then the first thing it's going to ask, one of the first things is it asks me that jumps out off the page at me is location. So I could put a zip code in and some other things, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So custom audience is what I really want to talk about. So in preparation for this, I have a MailChimp account with an email list. And what I did last night, because it takes about 30 minutes to upload it, is I uploaded my email list. Okay. So that is now in here, and it's only 60 people. Okay. So I'll go ahead and do a screen capture with that. And what it's also going to show me as I go here, and you're going to see it in the screen capture here, is the audience definition. It's going to give me a little guide from specific in the red, a giant green area, and then on my hand doesn't bend that far. And then on the other side is
but you know what? You have a wrist.
That's as far as it.
Okay.
So, okay, there we go. So separate to broad. Okay. And right now it's saying that just by me putting in the 60 people on my email list, if I did nothing else and just left the defaults, it's saying that I'm going to reach fewer than 1,000 people. I haven't played with it enough, but I believe that do you know, Mandy, if it would ever say fewer than 800 people, fewer than 100 people? Because I think 1,000 is the baseline for it.
I want to say that I've seen hundreds before. When I really target in too much, as we know, I have seen those numbers drop really, really low. And if Facebook's like, no, don't do that, which is nice to have that feedback from them. But generally, it's showing in the thousands usually. But I've seen it be rock bottom.
Right, because from a marketing point of view, we're trying to reach, again, we were talking about this earlier with the good old-fashioned postcards. There is a certain, even with all this drilling down into data, there is a certain amount of percentage return.
Yeah.
So if I only send it to 10 people and I'm expecting even a 10% return, you want to get a large base out there. Now, I try and keep it so that I'm not going to try and reach, 150,000 people, because right now my page only has 30 likes. Because I've just started.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go in, instead of thinking about this being a book, I'm going to think about this. Let's say that Tweak It, my page, is a tour or a business that I physically own that I'm trying to get people to come to. And it's based in Chicago. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, it says locations. It says everyone in this location. I'm going to pull down. Okay. I'm going to do a print screen of that. And then everyone in this location, people who live in this location, people recently in this location, people traveling in this location. So if I'm a destination place like a zipline canopy tour, I think that where I'm going to go is people traveling in this location. Chime in, Mandy, if you think that we should try something different.
No, if we're talking about zip tours, and we know travelers and tourists are a huge market for that. But what I've seen in the zip tour that we run out in the Seattle area too is it is the local place where people take visiting family members. So it's important to remember to stay in touch with your local market too, because even though they're more likely to come out when they have someone out of town, so there's still a travel component, being at the forefront of their mind so they continue doing that is important.
Yeah. So actually with that in mind, and again, I think let's start with smaller steps. So let's go for people that live in this location. Okay. Now the default location is the United States.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get, let's see here. So I'm going to leave that, but I'm going to include Chicago, Illinois. Okay. So it brings up a nice map. It brings up print screen here. So I'm going to choose that from the list. Okay. And now what it's done is it's given me a nice map here. Just print screen that, where it's given me a circle and it says that we're going to hit people that live within 25 miles of Chicago. Now, knowing that as a that's a lot of people, right? So, but I still have my basic email list of people that are interested in what I'm already doing. So it still has fewer than 1,000 people because, and this is where I'm going to try and figure this out, is because right now I've said the custom audience is those people on my list. So my guess is that if anybody on my list lives outside the Chicago area right now, outside that 25-mile area, I've just booted them from my list. So
the other thing to think about when you're putting it out there and you're designating these groups of people that you want to see these things is if you already have them as a captive audience someplace, like you already have all these people's email addresses, or these are already people or people who already like my page, because you can put as one of the options in there who's your target, people who like my page. Well, you know what? They already like my page and they're already getting that in their news feed. Weigh whether or not there's a benefit to using all of those clicks and all of those cents that add up to reach that particular group of people. Sometimes it might make a lot of sense, just like experiential systems and experiential resources putting the Builders Bootcamp out there. To reach people that like their page. We know that that's a specific audience that we want to get to, but just knowing if you have those email addresses and you have the ability to reach out to them, maybe you choose the friends of friends option and exclude.
And actually, I'm going to do that. I feel like the MailChimp might have been jumping the gun. I like that option. I want to look into that more. So I just deleted the MailChimp import so that we're starting fresh. I have my page. Maybe I don't have an email list, so I'm not going to worry about that. And by just deleting that, I jumped up to my potential reach is now 2.5 million people, which Facebook says is right up center on the grid of like that perfect sweet spot. Now, I don't think so. I think I don't think that everybody in Chicago is interested in coming to my Canopy tour, let's say.
Sure they are.
So now the next thing that it gives me is that I could add another location. So let's say just adding to this, and we're going to remove some people a little bit, is I know a lot of people from Milwaukee, Wisconsin come and take vacations in Chicago. No, I don't think so. All right. But
they probably do, why not?
So I'm now going to type in if I could spell Milwaukee. There it is.
Yeah. And, having these multiple locations and be able to hone in on big geographical hubs is awesome, because I know that as I advertise things that are happening out here in the Pacific Northwest, to be able to target both Seattle and Portland is great.
Yeah. So by adding Milwaukee now, I've now jumped to 3.1 million people that I could reach with this ad. So, and again, the only demographic we have is you live within 25 miles of Chicago City Center and 25 miles within Milwaukee City Center. So the next thing is age. Well, right now the default is 18 to 65. Now, let's think about this. The people that I want liking, getting my page and like a page and interacting with it is I want people that I know are going to interact with the page. I want people that are going to share my page and want to come back to my page. You know what? I might have already done, I'm going to say I've already done some market research. And with the people I already have interacting, I know that, when I look at it, most times when people are over 45 years of age, I see that I see some people like the page, but I'm not seeing a lot of interaction. So I'm going to go to 45 and I'm going to say, the 18-year-olds are not the ones necessarily making some of the financial decisions yet. And with what I have going on, I'm going to go for more of the college students. So I'm going to go 21. And again, I'm just making this up for the second. So now by going from 21 to 45, I went from 3.1 million people down to 2.1 million people. So again, right off the bat, I've knocked out 1 million people in this ad campaign.
Which is good because we're refining, right?
Right.
Because we have some people that are like, but you want to reach as many people as possible. And if Facebook will let us do that, then why not? But the answer is because you're paying for people that are probably not going to come out and use your stuff. So you want to make sure that, again, those dollars and cents that are assigned to every single person that you hit have the chance to have a return on your investment directly to whatever it is that you're selling.
In addition, we got to remember that the point of this ad campaign was to get people to like our page. Mm-hmm. Now, let me throw a pro out there because you were talking about that earlier of, how many people do we want starting to like our page? Mm-hmm. First person that got me interested in even thinking about Facebook ads is a gentleman by the name of John Dumas. He does what's called the Pubcast instead of a podcast.
Okay, yeah.
And so if you Google Pubcast, John Loomer, Loomer, you will find his information, and all he talks about is Facebook ads. And one of the first pubcasts I listened to by him talked about if you market to people that already like your page, a lot of people at the time were saying that's a waste of money because these people already like your page. But he took on the position that people liked your page for some reason at some point. Mm-hmm. And if your edge rank has dropped with those individuals, okay, and they're not seeing it, by doing an ad can remind them that they're out there. I need to do this again. On my personal Facebook page, I think I like 120 businesses, but I see maybe a dozen of them.
Yeah.
And it's fun once a year to go in there and go, oh, yeah, I forgot about this product. These guys were great. And then jumping in and trying to like, and I'm doing that as an educated consumer that I've got to like, interact, share if I want to see what they're doing or go to their page. Most people don't know that, and out of sight, out of mind. So right there is the reason why to do a campaign of any sort to people that just like your page to get them re-engaged, re-involved. And you know what? They already said they like you. So this is your prime target for an ad of some sort to say, hey, buy this, come out to our tour. Here's a discount. Come over to our website. So
it's sort of like I see it in two broad categories. There are the maintenance sort of ads where, hey, let's make sure I'm getting in front of my base, right? And maybe a few other people. So that's the sort of just, it could even be a fun post, like you said, to remind people like why they like your page. You're getting a really great reaction to something that you posted and, give it a boost. And then there are the special events. Right, so we have maintenance and we have special events. So I might be maintaining with my base already, once a month or whatever works for me. But say my Zip tour has its grand opening coming up in April, then that's the time where we have those boosts. Where we do want to reach outside of our pool, but we also still want to hit those people too because they like us. They want to come back out to the tour, and we want to remind them, hey, we had fun last year. Come back and have fun this year.
There are two pages I follow right now that are breweries that are opening up in my neighborhood, and I'm following them. And even though they're not posting, I'm hoping that they do that because I'm trying to do, because I want to know when they're opening up. One is 4 blocks away from the house. One's 10 blocks away. I want to support them. I want to go and find out what stouts they have.
I want to support them.
I do. You just keep on going thinking this is coffee in a mug. Yeah. Oh, it looks like, but that could be stuff.
Oh my gosh, sorry, I couldn't help it. Yeah, but you're right. I do the same thing. I get excited about something, and I naturally figured that's where I'm going to be able to get news, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's so. Anyways, that's another blab for another time. All right, let's get back on this here. So the next thing is gender. Well, in this case, I could choose, and I'm just going to do this for a second to see if I go from all to just men, for example. I drop down to 950,000 people. If I go to just women, I get 1.1 million. Interesting. That's, to me, that's just interesting because it's demographics of Facebook, right? Mm-hmm. There are more females in the demographic area on Facebook in Chicago and Milwaukee than there are men. But anyways, I want everybody, so I'm going to go back to all, and I'll be at 2.1 million again. Languages. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I might say I only want English, and it says all UK US. I'm going to do that because, unfortunately, at this point, I don't have any bilingual tour guides. That could be my reading behind that.
Okay.
But that didn't really change anything in my demographics. I wanted to see if that changed anything, and it did not. Probably because the majority of people in the demographic that I chose are speaking English, I'm guessing. All right. Now, this is where, again, the marketers are just drooling over, because now we get into detailed targeting, include people who match at least one of the following interests. I don't know why it keeps on saying beauty and travel.
Beauty
So,
travel?
yeah.
That's
Yep, those are the defaults that it keeps giving me. And I think it's because Facebook doesn't have a clue what our industry does. Or the majority of people doing ads.
Anybody is going to make that happen. We will make that happen.
Well, it says beauty is shopping and fashion. So again, if you think about people that are buying things online, that's what Facebook is putting in front of me right now. Is here's a demographic we believe already is primed and ready to buy stuff online. That's all I can think of. So I'm going to get rid of beauty. And let's see where we jump to. Still at 1.8. But I'm going to leave travel in here. It has online shopping as another interest, so I'm going to get rid of that. And we've jumped down to 1.7 million. And I'm not going to do any screen captures until we get our demographic in here. So now I could do things like tourism. So right off the bat, it's giving me suggestions. So I'm going to try and keep it easy. Now, if I look, though, tourism interests, tourism job titles, tourism schools, tourism fields of study, tourism employers. Okay.
So many options.
Yeah. And again, this is where it takes a little time. So I'm going to do tourism interest. So I want people in Chicago and Milwaukee that are interested in just in general in tourism. And now I'm going to do a search here. I'm going to see if high adventure is an option here. Yes, high adventure. Yeah. So now I'm going to choose.
You need to get a list of some of these keywords together for people, because some of them are a little bit not tricky, but if you don't put it in there exactly like that, you won't find it.
Yeah. Now, here's something that when I was doing this yesterday and playing around with it, I could put in Association of Experiential Education as a interest.
Yeah.
I could not put ACCT in. Why is it because maybe they set theirs up as a business and we set ours up as a community?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Now here's a fun one. Now, after I put in high adventure, Facebook's like, oh, I think I see what you're talking about here, because now it gives me caving.
You get
and
all
the number two one,
little like rectangular bubbles, right? That you can fill with options, and you can click, oh yeah, I like this, I like this, I like this. And if you click too many of those, that's where that needle that you were talking about starts going over to the red section if you get too specific. And so playing around with those and noticing when you add each one exactly how that impacts your reach will help you pick and choose which options you want there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I think is really cool is Zipline has now popped up in the list.
Finally.
So, right. And it's at caving, zipline sports, road trips, gastronomy, hospitality industry, mountains, air travel. So again, if my zipline canopy tour is in the mountains of Chicago, I might want to choose mountains, but that's not the case. So I'm going to choose zipline. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to go back and I'm going to get rid of high adventure. Okay. I'm at 1.7. I'm going to get rid of travel. Okay. And I'm going to get rid of tourism.
Yeah, because if that is an interest, then it might not make sense. And that's something to think about too. Because if somebody is interested in tourism, well, it's kind of like, that doesn't really make them a tourist.
Right. Now, remember the guy we talked to in Utah with the zip line, right? Chances are he might want to go with a tourism kind of thing or a tourist kind of thing, because he may not have the large community I have access to in Chicago.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do a capture here. And so now by just doing the interest of Zipline, I am now down to 19,000 people.
All right.
I'm liking the sound of this because I've jumped down from that 1.8 million, and I was still getting up in those millions of people.
It was 3 million.
It was 3 million when we started.
Yeah.
Now I'm down to 19,000 people that live within 25 miles of Chicago, 25 miles of Milwaukee, that are age 21 to 45, both men and women, and 19,000 of them have expressed an interest in zip lines. I'm feeling good.
Get in front of those people. For sure.
Hopefully that was muted. All right. So now connections. This is another thing that, again, this is why it's a great lesson, right? In our industry, we try and facilitate people to take that step outside their comfort zone, because this is the stuff that I was missing for years in ads. So connections. So Facebook pages. Okay. So under Facebook pages, people who already like my page, friends of people who like my page, exclude the people who like my page. So for example, if I don't want to bother the people that already like my page, I can get rid of them. Friends. So now I like this option. I'm going to do a screen capture of it here, is friends of people who like my page.
Yes.
Okay. And that dropped me down to fewer than 1,000 because we're using Tweakit. I'm going to pop in here and
let's knock that back off, because I like that 19,000 number way better.
Well, here's the deal. I'm going to type in, I'm going to see if this works. I've heard this works. So let me see here. All right. So I put in experiential systems.
Mm-hmm.
So I want friends of people that like experiential systems already, that are 21 to 45, Milwaukee, Chicago, interested in ziplining.
Men and women.
Men and women. Okay. So that now is at 1,000 people. Now, if I am trying a very targeted campaign just to get some Facebook likes, as I'm trying to build my business, that doesn't sound too bad to me. Now, Facebook is saying this is a little too specific, and I get that. But the big thing that with anything is experiment. Now, this is when people say, well, wait a second, I'm going to experiment with Facebook ads. I think these things cost money. We're going to get there in a second. And this is pennies. I mean, literally, it can be pennies that you spend on the ad campaigns.
And
it can be expensive too, but for the most part, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's ridiculously cheap. And you can set your max limit very easily. And the other thing is, if the ad's not working, if you set it up right, you're not spending, right? And so you still have those dollars that you can put in and run another campaign, run another ad, and try something else that works. So that's one thing that's really cool about the pricing for these two.
Now, this is one of the things that I don't understand that I heard, I read a lot of stuff on this yesterday, is that you can supposedly, I should be able to go in here and type in another page that I think is in the same vein of whatever I'm doing. So for example, if I was doing this for experiential systems, I should be able to go in there and put High Five Adventure.
Building.
Okay.
Wow.
Specifically, I could say I want to mimic the audience of High Five Adventure or another PVM or another zipline canopy tour or anything like that. If anybody watching the replay knows how to do that, please direct message me and we can do a quick recording, whether it's a blab or something else, to show how to do that, because that's what really, really intrigues me.
Yeah.
Is, if I'm a zipline canopy tour and there's 3 in my area, to be able to say, I want to also target the people and the friends of the people that like my competitor. And I'm hearing things all over the place saying you can do that. I can't find this option. I am limited right now only to the pages I manage.
I haven't ever seen that option. And I'm not even really sure that that's within the culture of Facebook to do that, so that makes me wonder whether or not it's true.
Mari Smith, I think I'm getting that wrong. So Social Media Examiner had a podcast on Facebook Ads 101. And I was listening to it last night, and I went and listened to that section over and over again to be like, you got to be kidding me. Right. Yeah. Because part of me feels like
a little out of character. Right. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, but it's just, I don't know.
I don't think it's out of character for Facebook, because that's one of the things is, again, this is where I give Facebook money. And if I could do that as a marketer, I definitely, can you imagine being like, you know, a cell phone company, you know, 7 years ago, and somebody coming to you in your Sprint and somebody saying, we can give you a list of all of the AT&T customers within like 5 miles of your shop that you could go ahead and set a mailing to. You would buy that in a minute, especially if you had some type of campaign.
I don't work that way usually.
I'm not saying ethically it's what you would do. I'm saying that the option is there. Or here's the other thing is that, let's say that I am doing a tourism kind of thing. I run a zipline canopy tour in Chicago. You run one on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. I want to cash in on the people that travel out there. And I could even, with what I'm seeing here, to say, give me the people that like, you know, Mandy's page, and on top of it, live in the Chicago area.
Yeah.
You know, and ethically, I got nothing against that, because I'm saying these are people that, like, you know, it's an interest. Yeah. All right. So right now I'm down to fewer than 1,000 people. Okay. Last thing I can do here is save the audience so that I don't have to recreate this next time. Especially,
I love that feature, because like as a training and certification provider and things like that, to be able to go in and say, okay, here's where the people are at. Here's the age of facilitator that is usually going to be interested in this type of training, and do all those refinements and be able to just have that ready to go and flip into my next ad for the training that's coming up. Huge time saver.
Yeah, huge. And also, if you get success off of it and you want to repeat the campaign, there are ways to repeat a campaign. But let's say I want to use the same target audience now to get people to my website, or for promotion that I'm running because I saw it was successful, you know. Yeah. Hey, this worked really well to get people to my page. Now let's do that same audience to get to let them know that it's a 2-for-1, or, you know, 30% off, kids free on Mondays. I don't know, whatever it is. Buy one, get one. So now we get to the daily budget. Right now I'm set at my daily budget is $25 a day, and my estimated daily reach is fewer than 100 people on Facebook. This is only an estimate. Numbers shown are based on the average performance of ads targeted to your selected audience. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete the ESI part, okay? Because I want to jump back up to that 19,000.
I want the 19,000.
Okay. All right. So now it's saying if I spend $21 a day, I will reach an estimated 2,100 to 5,600 people on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Now, again, this is...
I wanted that 19,000 number, because while 1,000 sounds good, the reality is you're not going to be hitting every single person in that 1,000. You are only going to be hitting a percentage of that. And so going for those little bit higher but not unreasonable numbers is definitely the way to go.
All right, so let's take this from me. I'm nervous about Facebook ads. I don't understand the return on investment. I'm not sure if I really want an influx of 2,000 people a day coming to my page. I'm scared. So let's see what happens if I drop my budget down to...
Never operate out of fear. That is my number one piece of advice for you, just in general, for life, for Facebook ads. Never operate out of fear. It's just trust me.
This is my point. I just changed it to $5. Actually, I need to do a quick screen capture here. So I'll put it back up to $25. Click off of it here. So at $25, we are at 2,100 to 5,600 people a day. If I go in and I say, you know what? Let's just start with $5 a day and see what that gets me. 450 to 1,200 people. For $5 to reach that many people, you know, and it's estimate. It's estimate because I did run an ad for an event that I did, and it gave me those numbers, but I really was very specific. And there's some other advanced options we're going to go through here. I'm thinking we're going to go a little bit longer if you can stick around, Mandy, for 15 more minutes because we got a very late start.
I can't do much further than that, but I can do 15.
Okay. And I'll try and wrap it up before that because we're almost done, I believe, with this. So anyways, now it's saying run in my my ad continuously starting today. I'm going to do a start and end date because I don't want to forget about this and being charged, $25, $5 a day indefinitely. So I'm just going to say that I'm going to start it today and I'm going to end it on the 9th of April because that's when Facebook defaulted and I just want to have something. Okay. So estimated you will wind up spending an estimate of $154.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you think about marketing budgets and other things, $150 for what is that? 3 weeks to reach 450 to 1,200 people a day.
Really good.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And again, I could even put in here $1 a day, right? 200 to 530 people over that 4-week period or 3-week period, whatever it is. Yeah, it's a 1 month period, 4-week period, and spending $30. Mm-hmm. And again, the options are there. So, all right, I'm just doing $1 right now because I don't know at what point and if my credit card's already on file with Facebook. And I don't necessarily want this. So now set, show advanced options. Okay. Print screen. Basically, these optimization for ad delivery pages will deliver your ads to the right people to help you get more page likes at the lowest cost, or a bid and out automatic. Let Facebook set the bid that helps you get the most page likes at the best price, or manual enter a bid based on what page likes are worth to you. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to switch this over to manual and I'm going to say that, you know what, it says $5 per page like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a little expensive for me. I think a good quality page like is worth $1 to me. I'm being their suggested bid is $1.32. So you know what? Yeah, so I'm going to do $1.32. And what they're basically doing then is, as I get likes for the day, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong here, Mandy, my understanding of it is, as I get likes for the day, I've only budgeted $1 a day. So once I get a like that day, my budget has been spent. They move on to the next.
You might not even get that like because your bid is over your budget.
I did $500. I wanted $5 a day. Okay. So
yeah, so
you got to play with it and whatever's best for you. Okay. Suggested bid $1.32. They're suggesting a range between 70 cents and $1.79. When do you get charged? Impressions, more options. I only want to get charged I only want to pay by the page like. More options. So basically I'm saying that I'm only going to pay you, Facebook, if somebody winds up giving me a page like. Mm-hmm. Pro, I only pay if I get somebody like the page. Con, they are not going to throw it in front of as many people. They're going to work their best to make sure they're only putting it in front of the people that they think are going to work. So if I go impressions,
or may not be correct. And let's remember that with all of these different refinements that we have out there, there is still the potential that it's not being put in front of exactly who you want it to. So you're putting all your eggs in that basket as far as trusting Facebook to know exactly who you're going for. And depending on your industry, it may or may not make sense for you. If you know that you're very specific, then that might be a really great option for you. If you're kind of willy-nilly and all over the place, like our industry, going broader is probably a better option.
Right. All right. Just excuse the phone in the background. Sorry about that. So you get the general idea. There's ad scheduling. You can set the ads to run on a schedule versus all day. By the way, welcome D-Rock. You probably have a lot of Derek. Probably. You've probably got a lot more info on this. So please jump in or comment if you say no. That's not how it works. We're just walking through the process for how to set up a Facebook ad if you've never done one before. And so we're almost to the point where we're going to add our media here. So the last point is delivery type. Again, show your ads as quickly as possible. Show your ads throughout the day. And basically now I'm going to go over to choose my ad, which is now, what do I want my ad to look like? Oh, okay. The minimum budget required is $5.60 a day. I will update that. It gave me an error message probably because of all the settings in that. So I did $5.60 so I can just keep on moving here. All right. So now this is where, again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I think, number one, you could spend a whole blab individually on creating the perfect graphic. And we talk about Canva. We talk about other tools and things like that. They're out there. And the first thing it's going to do is it's going to serve up pictures from my page to use, which really isn't a bad thing because I've already getting engagement from those pictures and other things. So basically I can do upload images. I can create a slideshow. I can do a video. To me, looking at Blab, Periscope, native video, all of those things going on, I would really consider doing a testimonial from my nice. And I think that is what we're going to do in the future. Derek is saying that some of the tools that are out there. And I think we're going to do a whole Blab once we get some people that are more familiar with just Facebook business pages and that. I would love to do a Blab and all the tutorials, all the software that's out there to help with this. Personally, what I would do is I would take a testimonial from somebody that's been out at my zipline canopy tour saying it was the best day ever. Woo! The whole family in harnesses, imposed with a couple zipline, people going by in the zipline, something that really showcases and something that's only maybe like 10 seconds long. There are some things
very short, for goodness sake.
Yes. Again, it's an ad. We're trying to get people just to our page right now. So again, experiment. If I'm doing the video and I'm finding that nobody's liking my page after 3 days, I can go in and cancel that ad and choose something different. You can change these things on the fly. Again, another benefit of doing this. It's not like I can call the local magazine, travel magazine, and said, you know what, that picture after 2 days isn't working. Can you change that picture that's in front of everybody today? That's where the power of the beauty of this is.
Yeah.
Okay. It's going to show me what it looks like on my my desktop feed, my mobile feed, a right column, all of those things. And basically at this point, I can go ahead and place the order. Now, a quick warning.
It'll give you options too, where you want it displayed. You can.
Oh, right. And that's what I'm reading here. It's not just showing me that. Those are the three places it's going to display right now.
I never look at those stupid ads in the right sidebar because
it's
not
gone
in my direct eye line, and so I don't think I want to spend my dollars there. Then you can say you don't want your ad in that right sidebar. You can say I want it in the feed. So that's something really neat too. And another thing about choosing your images for Facebook ads is, and I don't know if it was changed, but the last time that I went on to do a Facebook ad, and things change quickly. So I don't know if you have seen anything on what you're looking at about this, but Facebook before would require a true image. And would not allow an image that contained a certain percentage of writing to
20%.
Yep, to be the image for your Facebook ad. They wanted a picture. They wanted a good, photograph type image. And I had at one point went to create an ad that had a poster that some students had made, which was like totally appropriate for the thing. It wasn't trying to get a lot of other words in there, but since it was words, Facebook was like, nope, can't use that image. So that's something else. As you're going in to do this, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to go on Canva, I'm going to put in all this stuff, and I'm going to create this great image for my Facebook ad, just know that if it's like Derek says, 20% of the image is text or more than that, no, you just wasted your effort for that particular use of that image.
I'm trying to pull up the link really quickly here, and I can pull it up at the end, put it in the comments that will be embedded on my website for the replay here. So I'm going to keep on moving here. There is a tool that Facebook has that you can put your image in, and basically, my understanding is the same tool that they use, and it'll tell you, nope, this won't work. And basically, it's you put the image in at the right size, and it's a grid, and basically, if it recognizes text in 20% or more of the grid. And I've heard some people, you can push it to 30, but it'll tell you right then, this is too much text. And again, it's just a tool, because I have heard people that get it a little bit more than 20 and it still will get kicked back. But it's a nice tool that if this thing is saying that you're at 40%, then, and this is what they did. They tried to get it so that we're not hitting people with 30% off special Sunday kind of images, right? That's what we're trying to do here.
Sorry. Okay, I got like 3 minutes left.
All right. So at this point, what I've done is, and I'll do another pictures. Yes, they have changed recently to not even allow text on things within the image. So if you're holding a book and too much is showing, it is ridiculous. So it is something to be aware. And I will get that tool in the comments before I log off here. So I'm gonna do another print screen here, because what I've done is I've said that I want it in desktop news feeds, and I want it in the mobile news feed, and I do not want to pay for it to be in the desktop right column, because I agree. I've trained myself. I've trained myself to so I've trained myself to ignore that as a user. All right. So now I'm going to go ahead and place my order. I'm not going to hit place my order because I think that's where it starts asking, and I do have a credit card on file. So that is basically the quick dime 10-cent tour of Facebook ads. I'm going to be experimenting with these myself over the next couple of weeks here, I think, for some business opportunities. So I will report back and let people know how it's going, and report back in our group and on the next blab that we do. So with that in mind, and again, I appreciate, Randy, we've gone over a little bit, so I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you. So there is the link. So you can I just opened it up in another file here, and that will be in the replay here. So, sorry, we're wrapping up here. So, so anyways,
there's always the replay though. And
there is the replay, and the replay should work. And here's my goal is that at some point I should put a gate by the end of the month. I just said it out loud and I'm recording that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the replay, I'm going to edit it and superimpose some of these images over it onto our YouTube channel. So that way people can see and use this as a tutorial and see what we're talking about. Yes. So basically the last thing is you can choose your file, and I'll also put in somewhere in the replay what those dimensions are that Facebook is looking for, so you don't waste your time uploading an image that's too big or too small that'll get pixelated, right? All right. So thank you, Mandy, for being here, especially at the beginning for the first 15 minutes that I could not get my computer and I was in two blabs at once, and who knows what was going on. So thank you for the
this is what was going on right
there. The horoscopes, keeping everything running. Thank you, Derek, for jumping in and because again, this is something that I'm challenging myself on, that I need to learn more about. Best way I can learn about it is trying to teach other people about it. So thank you for your resources. I'm going to wrap the recording up, and then I'll say a formal goodbye, and we'll all get out of here shortly. So once again, next week's blab is going to be possibly live. It's going to be at a different time. I will be at a conference of facilitators next week, Wednesday.
What am I doing? Did I have another?
I'm automated. I don't know about you, but I put a quarter in the back of this robot and walked away. That's probably why there were so many difficulties today.
Oh my God.
But I will be at the Chicago Area Roundtable for facilitators, and I will be presenting. By the way, Mandy, I will be presenting on what we presented at ACCT. I just realized that I never really talked to you about that, so I hope that's
fine.
I thought it was cool.
That's after lunch, yeah.
No, I got it switched because after lunch everybody is in food coma, and they aren't awake for it, and so I got it switched to right.
So we can end the recording and then we can chat about that. I want to sum up and say Derek in the comments here said it's a very powerful ad platform for sure. And I absolutely agree. I think that contrary to Ed's earlier expressed pseudo fears, that it is inexpensive enough to go around, go out, put an ad together and just get familiar with it and see what sort of response you have, that there is no reason why you should not try a Facebook ad.
And I made my first one way too restrictive, and I wound up not paying a penny because I wanted to pay for people attending my event. And even though I saw an increase in the people that viewed the event, since they did not actually click on the event, and I had even people commenting to me and emailing me saying, tell me more about the event. But since they never clicked, I'm going to the event, I wasn't charged a dime. Now, again, if I would have said pay more and impressions, I probably would have had more people. As we talked about earlier, it's marketing. You gotta get people, because only a certain percent are going to show up. So with that in mind, subscribe to both of us. Subscribe to Experiential Ed, so you see I will get that. I will probably get that blab up by the end of this week of when it's going to be. I think it's going to be like 10:30 Central Time. It's going to be earlier than normal. It's not going to be as interactive, but I want to show people what Blab is, and we'll have a good time with it. And plus, you'll get to be watching a live session on how can you use social media as a feedback tool to what's going on at your ropes course, or really at your business. It's the same thing across the line. So, all right, with that in mind, thank you, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
See, I wait for you to say goodbye now. All right. See you guys.